Hi guys, Pretzelman 945 here. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to a kind of video in which I have not done in a minute. Not in like a month and a half, actually. Um, the top tens and stuff. This is not top 10, but it's a top 5. This video is my top 5 favorite manga. Um, I don't think I've ever done, yeah, no, I've only ever done like one thing with the title manga, with the word manga in the title, which is my very first video about Berserk, and that was a series I never finished. Anyway, this is only a top 5 because I don't feel like I've read enough mangas to make a full proper top 10 yet. Um, However, these 5 that I've read are basically all within my top 15 fiction list now. Um, because even though I made an updated version of the top 10 of that, I extended it to top 15, and um 3 of those things are mangas that will be on this list. So, at number 5 is Magi. Um, Now I actually recently moved this to be my second favorite battle shonen of all time, only behind One Piece, because I even moved it above Black Clover, which that was not an easy thing to do, but I did it. And I have a whole 40-minute video talking about Magi. That is definitely the best place to get my your undistilled thoughts on Magi. Um, because but to sum it up, incredible characters, some of the best world building in fiction, in my opinion. The art is incredible. The villains are just exquisite. Um, the power system is one of the coolest power systems in all of fiction. Um, and yeah, I mean, really, just go check out my Magi video for more on that. But Magi is fucking peak. Hence why it's my fifth favorite manga. Um, and number 4 is Oyasumi Punpun. I did make a video on this back in August when I finished it. Um, Oyasumi Punpun is the most depressing piece of fiction I've ever consumed. That's what the title of the video, isn't it? Let me see. Yes, Oyasumi Punpun is the most depressing piece of fiction of all time. That's literally what I titled the video. Um, and um, what makes Punpun so good is just how fucking real it is. Because Punpun and every one of and both him as the main character, but also like every single character in the story just like seems to perfectly reflect such a it is such a realistic portrayal of the struggles of life at like every level. Because like you obviously follow Punpun from when he is a little child, So you sort of see all of the struggles throughout that. And there's also you see through Yuichi the uncle, who is my personal favorite character in the story, sort of a portrayal of like the mistakes of early adulthood and like the mistakes of toxic relationships and stuff. And through his parents, you sort of see the struggle of like marriage and kind of like keeping a household together despite being divorced. Um, and then like you again you follow Pun Pun all throughout like middle school and high school and eventually like not college because he doesn't ever end up going to college, but like college age where he's a young adult. And man, the amount of emotional trauma that every other character gets into with each other is just absolutely ridiculous. But it's somehow such good character writing. It's just like some of the best character writing of all time. And the double spreads in Oyasumi Pun Pun are just uh fucking brilliant. And I feel like Pun Pun is one of those mangas that will affect people differently, um, depending on what age they are that they read it. Because I think that the just insane span of sort of realistic life portrayals that are covered in this manga just sort of span across the entirety of the human experience. And there are like so few pieces of fiction that can even do that, much less to the same level of Pun Pun. Like I will go on a limb to say that there is nothing that I have consumed, no piece of fiction I have consumed that encompasses a realistic portrayal, a wholly realistic portrayal of as much of the entirety of the human experience as Pun Pun does. And for me personally, um, I mentioned that Yuichi was my favorite character. I'm a young adult, and I often think a lot these days about like what my life is going to look like in a few years or a few decades even, um and like hearing perspectives of people that say they didn't do what they wanted with their 20s when I'm just kind of starting to get into that decade. It makes me think a lot about that kind of stuff. So, you know, seeing Yuichi like having to reflect on those past struggles and working through a relationship when I've never been in a relationship, it sort of it gives me a lot to think about. And it's the same thing with Pun Pun in the later parts of the manga when he's growing up. Um and yeah, I just it just it truly like encompasses the whole of the human experience unlike any other piece of fiction I've ever consumed. I can't say that I recommend Pun Pun because it is existential depression on pages of beautifully drawn art. But it is it is such a masterpiece. Now, another manga that is a masterpiece for a different reason is my number three manga, Vagabond. Let's see, can I get the direction right? Maybe no. No, let's do it. There we go. Okay. Oh, you can't even see the Vagabond volumes, man. They're on the bottom. That was pointless. Anyway, I have my manga on a shelf over there, but you can't quite see the Vagabond volumes because they're off the box. Oh man, that was really dumb. Okay. Anyway, so my number three manga is Vagabond. Um, this is for several reasons. The first being it has some of the best goddamn beautiful and most beautiful art ever drawn by a human being. And I most assuredly talked about this because I made a video on Vagabond back in July. That was about something very specific in the way that it was drawn, though, with that being like um sort of certain panels with no dialogue. But um it was very hard to make that video without like repeatedly overstating the point that Vagabond's art is just fucking incredible. And it's some of the best art that has ever been drawn by any human, in my opinion. um, because um, I just I you know what I think uh I will get some of the volumes. I think actually I'm just gonna pick pick three volumes out just randomly right here and um. I'm just gonna show. It's obviously not gonna come across very well on camera, but look at that beautiful panel, or these ones, or oh yo, I got the color. Look at that. Ooh, that's hype. Okay, let's see in here. Oh, it does color. Beautiful. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, just like look at this stuff. It's absolutely fucking gorgeous. Look at this color, man. Look at the color. It's so beautiful. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna put these back now. Hopefully you like that random transition. This is why you watch my channel. Is for random shit like this that I just end up doing in the middle of videos like this. Is just, randomly getting manga off my shelf and showing you it just like that. But that's one of many reasons why Vagabond is my third favorite manga. Um, the another reason is that the characters are fucking incredible. Um, like Musashi as a main character goes through so much incredible development in sort of learning the nuances of when to use his sword, when to fight, and sort of like what his true meaning of the way of the sword is. Um, and then Otsu is like just an incredible female character, and honestly, might make an updated list of my top 10. I don't feel like I have enough material to make an updated list yet, but I feel like she would probably be in the top 10 at this rate. Um, because this her sort of struggles with being, I guess, independent and learning to kind of fend for herself, after being, cheated on by, the fucking bum Matahachi, who is the worst character in fiction. And, you might think that brings Vagabond down, but no, it actually elevates it for me because, like, it's insane to me how it could have like one of the best protagonists in fiction, um, one of the best female characters in fiction, and simultaneously the worst character in fiction, in my opinion. Like, I can't think of anything else really that just has that span of character writing in such a massive range. And what they also have is they have one of the best mentor characters in fiction, that being my goat Pakuwan, who is easily the best character in the story, and I will hear no objections to that. And yeah, just Vagabond is like such an incredible story. It's such a masterpiece of a story about just like human morals and like just following the right path, um and just everything like that. Vagabond is just peak. Vagabond is just a fucking masterpiece. um and number two is 20th Century Boys. I have talked about this manga so much on this channel by this point. How many videos come up when it says, okay. So I have only made one video about 20th Century Boys, but it was when I was like part of the way through the manga, I think. Um, I talked about it extensively in my updated top 10 fiction video, and it has the most brilliantly constructed plot in all of fiction, in my opinion. I truly believe that it is Naoki Urasawa's true magnum opus when it comes to character writing as well. I think that this manga, out of the three mangas from him that I've read, which are the three major ones, I think, being Monster, 20th Century Boys, and Pluto, I think that 20th Century Boys has by far the best cast of characters. Um, and Kenji is one of my favorite protagonists in all of fiction. He was like extremely high on the list, on the top 20 list I made. He was like number 5 or something crazy like that. And Friend is not only one of the best villains in fiction, but he's also one of my favorite characters in fiction. Because he was like number 6 on the list. Yeah, yeah, number 6. Um, and also Naoki Urasawa draws my favorite character designs of any manga because the character designs in all of his works, but especially 20th Century Boys, I just love how simple and yet human that his character designs look. Um and yeah, that is 20th Century Boys. My fifth favorite piece of fiction, my second favorite manga, but as you can tell by the shirt that I'm wearing, my favorite manga and my third favorite piece of fiction of all time is Berserk. And the thing is with Berserk, I haven't even completed it. I've read like 20 volumes of it, but I never finished it. I will finish it, but I'm gonna collect the physical volumes for it. Um, Now, I said that Vagabond has some of the best art drawn by human, and that is true. However, it's second place overall to manga art because Berserk is number one. I made a whole ass video just talking about the freaking monster designs in Berserk, not even including anything else about like any other part of the art which has so many incredible panels that like many of them are just completely inconceivable to the human mind how good they are. Like I will see um panels of art in Berserk and my mind can't even wrap my head around how incredible the panels are. It just like breaks my brain to where I don't even know what I'm looking at. It just looks so incredible. Um and of course, Guts is one of the greatest. Guts is my second favorite protagonist in all of fiction, and Griffith is my fourth favorite character in all of fiction. As I explained extensively for both characters in their respective videos, but there's also like just so many brilliantly written characters like Casca, and this really doesn't illustrate my point well, but like all the other characters that they travel with, I don't remember the names of. Uh, just all of them are brilliant, and Guts and Griffith have the best dynamics in all fiction, which I also talked about extensively in another video. Uh, and I mean, just Berserk is just peak fiction, and that's why it will always be my favorite manga. Not even close, really. Like, you know, as much as I read about 20th Century Boys, it's never been Berserk, in my opinion. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the top 10 or no, top 5 manga video. Thank you very much for watching, and let me know your favorite mangas in the comments below. But for now, I'll see you later. Bye bye.